As we continue our special ongoing coverage around elections 2024, more than 56% of the votes have been counted so far. Of course, we're getting a clearer picture as the hours progress about how things are likely to unfold. There's a media scrum on the floor of the Rock, which usually means a prominent leader has just arrived. The leader of the Democratic Alliance, John Steenhuisen, is here. The party now garnering about 23.5% of the votes. Are spotted Canny Maphanga standing next to John Steenhuisen. Canny?
Well, good morning to you, Ayanda, and to the viewers at home. Of course, as you've correctly stated, the DA leader, John Steenhuisen, has descended upon the National Rock to reflect on these results that we're seeing performed by the DA, rather, in the 2024 national and provincial elections. I'm just going to go straight to John Steenhuisen. Ayanda, as you can see, it's quite a swarm here as everyone tries to get hold of him. He will be joining you a bit later. He's just starting with SABC. If I could ask you, please, to just give us a moment. Thank you very much. Mr. Steenhuisen, proving a lot of people wrong in these 2024 national and provincial elections, we're seeing you now gain those votes back of those core voters, going from that electoral misfortune in 2019 and now seeing quite a positive result there, reflecting at least 23% as we look now. How do you look at that? How do you reflect, rather, on that performance by the DA in these polls?
I'm very happy. A lot of people had written the DA off. I mean, some people had polls showing we were going to get 17%. There were some journalists who wrote that they were going to write apologies if we got over 20%. And I'm looking forward to reading those in the papers.
Some said you were heading to Harvard.
Indeed, and I think some other people are going to be filling out Harvard forms, and I'm happy to sign them for them as well. Look, I mean, it's great. We've been able to hold on to our base, but if I look at the figures and the numbers, we've doubled our votes amongst Black South Africans in areas where we've not done so well in by-elections recently. We won all of those areas back: Hornley, Knysna, Beaufort West, Eldorado Park. All of those areas, it's looking good. So there's still a lot of counting that still needs to be done. A lot of the metros still have to come in. So we know we're near the end yet, but I'm very pleased with the trajectory. And if this trend continues, I think the DA is on track for a good election result. We're back in business. And let me tell you, a party with 22, 23, 24% in an era where no party's got a majority becomes a major player when it comes to determining the future lay of the land, so to speak.
There's a lot of chatter about the multi-party charter and how it has served the DA but hasn't served the rest of those opposition parties that are in that agreement with you. We're seeing how badly the Action SA results are faring in comparison to the DA, not to compare the two parties, but not receiving that same benefit as the DA. How do you reflect on this MPC? Was it a direct strategy for the DA to bring this opposition in order to gain this increase in the 2024 national?
No, not at all. We entered the multi-party charter because we believe then, and we still fundamentally believe, that bringing together people around common shared values and principles is going to be the way we proceed. Obviously, I am disappointed in some of the results. Action SA had told us they were going to bring 10.56% to the vote, to the table. I made an undertaking that we would bring the bulk of what would be needed to get to the 50% plus one. Look, I still think it's early days. I said there's urban areas have still got to come in big numbers. But yes, I mean, it's been my desire for the multi-party charter to go over the edge. This wasn't a strategy. We made sure that we assisted with funding. We helped some of the smaller parties be put in touch with donors so that they could run their activities. And obviously, I would like to see them doing a bit better. But you know, this is what the people have chosen to vote, and I think we've got to respect that.
And then, of course, we're looking at the national ballot, and we can see that the top three is the ANC, the DA, and the MK party. They've knocked the FF out of that third spot. Now we're looking at the DA to see is that relationship or that coalition with the ANC going to be formed come the end of those results being declared, and we're looking at the next government for South Africa.
Well, look, I mean, I think it's a very good day for South Africa. When I said, tomorrow is a better country, well, today is a better country. We said for the last 30 years that the way to rescue South Africa is to break the ANC's majority. We've done that. They're going to end up in the low 40s. And that obviously opens up a whole new universe for politics in South Africa, for us to break the log jams and to start building something better for the people of South Africa and our country. And we stand ready to play our role in that as a responsible party and the second largest party. But as I've said before, we've got to wait for the results to end before we can start with any major discussions. But my first port of call is going to be with my multi-party charter partners. We're 10 other parties. Once the final results are up, we will have a meeting and we will discuss together what we think the next step forward should be for us to work together. We've built up enormous trust over the course of the last year of working together, and the joint policy synthesis that we've been working on, the joint approach, has led to, I think, quite a good working relationship. And so I would like to chat to them before we open up any other discussion channels with anybody else. I'm not ruling anything out at this stage. I'm just saying that I think it's too premature to make a call either way, and that my first loyalty and commitment is to the multi-party charter.
All right, thank you very much. I'm going to ask Mr. Steenhuisen to please walk that way so that the crowd can follow him. That was John Steenhuisen, the official opposition, just reflecting on the DA's results, not ruling out any partnership or coalition with the governing party, reflecting on those increase rather of the DA in the 2024 national and provincial elections, stating that he first wants to look at his multi-party charter partners, those opposition parties that he has a pact with, before he can look at any other options heading towards the 2024 national and provincial elections. Of course, we'll continue to monitor the Democratic Alliance results. However, if I do step out of fame, it is looking quite good for the DA on the national ballots, with at least 56.34% of those VDs complete. We're looking at the DA trailing the ANC with just under 2 million of those votes cast in support of the official opposition party. So they're excited about those results, and of course we'll be looking towards that multi-party charter first before they discuss any discussion with any other parties that are not involved in that pact, that pre-election pact, which was designed to unseat the governing party in this very, very crucial election. Of course, as I've stated earlier, Ayanda will continue to give you updates. We're expecting many more leaders of these political parties that are contesting these crucial elections to come to the results center today, where they can reflect on those results as we see them reflecting on the leaderboard behind us.